To introduce myself, my name is Yash Dubal. I'm the Managing Director and Senior Associate at AY&J Solicitors. What we do at AY&J Solicitors, we are specialized in UK immigration. So today I will be listening to your query, question, anything you might have, and I'll be happy to answer a question and see if we can find a right solution for you. So Nidhi, tell me, what is your objective? What's your query? Top 3 questions, if you have any in your top of your head. Let's start with that objective.
Yeah, great. So I'm a master's student right now.
Good.
And I'm actually doing a master's in law. I did my undergraduate degree here as well.
Sure.
And so I have had 4 years in total. Well, 4 years for my undergraduate degree. I was home for 1 year and 1 year for my master's. So I've racked up a total of 5 years now. But one of the things that I know is that the undergraduate degrees don't count towards the final collective number of years that you have. And I just wanted to clarify whether that is the case or whether it's also included.
Sure. So let me refresh your question. So your question is, you've been here for total 5 years. You did undergrad, which is bachelor's degree. Now you're doing master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
Your question is, would this bachelor's degree counts towards your total cap of 5 years you can study in the UK? Is that your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the answer is yes. So graduate level is NQF level 6. So any course you do, like at NQF level 6 and 7, you can spend in the UK maximum up to 5 years in total, unless there are some exemptions. For example, if you are doing engineering degree or if you are doing a law degree, you know, they give you extra year. So instead of 5 years, it might be 6 years. Any professional courses you do, they are exempt. For an example, GDL or LPC, they are exempt from this cap of 5-6 years. So if you are doing, let's say, bachelor's course worth 4 years, then the Home Office will give you total 6 years. But if your bachelor's degree is like 3 years, and then you are doing 2 years of master's, then you are allowed maximum up to 5 years. There are also other exemptions. For example, if you know there were some medical conditions, you could not continue your studies. And if there are any mitigating circumstances which is compelling and compassionate enough, you can always ask for discretion by the university first or your institute. And then if they are happy to issue you a CAS, then there is a possibility Home Office will grant you a further extension. Of course, you know, PhD, if you were to do PhD after master's, then you are allowed in total 8 years. And as you know, graduate a post-study scheme, which is being introduced in summer 2021. So if you were to graduate, let's say your bachelor's or master's, no matter as to when you started this course, but if you graduate in summer 2021, you'll be eligible for 2 years of post-study visa, which is graduate scheme Home Office is introducing in summer 2021. Did I answer your questions? I mean, I gave you a little bit more than what you asked me, but I just wanted to throw you as a knowledge, if that was to help you to plan your journey in the UK.
So currently I'm looking into applying for tier 2 jobs, but because the job market is quite difficult, I was just wondering, because my father was thinking of setting up a branch of his company in here. This is, separate from my situation, and was wondering whether, what the route would be if he wanted to hire me in that branch of the company.
Oh, that's very good point. I think you picked up this option from my webinar, if I'm not wrong, sole representative visa. So I'm glad it's working. And even if it was to work for one person, Nidhi, just for yourself, I would be very glad, and it would be very well invested time for me. On 30th of July 2020, it was very, very nice webinar. There were like 183 attendees, and people watched it throughout webinar, 123 people. So I think it was very well invested time. So yeah, going back, sole representative options, I will send you by email. I have your email address. I'll send you more information. Sole representative visa is for someone. So someone who is a senior member of the company. And depending, I don't know about your situation, but if you could be classed as a senior member of staff of your company, where you have enough power to make decisions on behalf of your company, and if you are not a majority shareholder, we can certainly explore the option of you being a sole representative of your family business in the UK. So what sort of business is it, Nidhi, if you can tell me a little bit background about the business?
It's mainly in downstream palm products, and there's certain technologies and things that are in that sector that my the company would bring over here, and I would be helping to manage the different clients that were here. And yeah, it would just be a niche, and we've looked into the market, but there is a market for it over here. So would there be a business plan that would have to be submitted as part of
Of
the
course.
application?
Yes, please. Yes. So when you prepare sole representative visa application, of course, you need to prepare a very uh, um, bespoke and convincing business plan, of course, to justify your, the foreign company opening up a branch in the UK. The benefit is, there is no minimum investment requirement. It might be maybe 50,000 or 100,000, as long as you justify as to how you would expand that branch office in the UK.
Hmm.
I understand you are completing your master's, so depending on that, you can prepare and submit this application. As far as I'm aware, you need to submit this application from overseas, so you might have to travel back home and submit sole rep application and come back. You can't switch your sole rep, your status into sole rep in the UK. Now, you said you have spent 5 years in total, but there was a gap in between as well,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
that gap was for a year.
Yeah, it was 1 year I was back home
All
because
right,
I had applied for jobs. I didn't get a job. So I went
after your
back home for a
bachelor's.
year, and then I come back for my master's. Yes.
All right. Okay, fine. So, what was the last month and year you entered the UK to do your master's as tier four? What was the last month and year? When did you enter the UK?
That would have been in September, the end of September of last year,
18,
so
last year,
2019.
19. Okay,
19.
all right. And when are you completing your master's?
Um, so I would have completed my dissertation by September, but my graduation is in January, so I have the 6 months on the visa after I've submitted my dissertation. And yeah, I just wanted to check as well in terms of working. I know my visa restricts me to 20 hours a week right now, but once I submit my dissertation, am I eligible to work for the full time because technically my degree is over?
Makes sense. So if you are not during term time, and if you do not, if you are not under term, if your term has been finished, and if the university can confirm that in writing that your term has been finished, that means you then can go on to do a full-time job. So that's how I can, I have to be very careful, because this is going into a public domain as well. And then, of course, I don't want to mislead you, that the way it works is, if you are not studying, so if you are out of the term time, and again, only university can confirm whether you are out of term time or not, irrespective of your
Mm-hmm.
dissertation submission. The fact you have submitted your dissertation, it doesn't give you the freedom of going out and work full time. You should seek an advice or confirmation from the university. Am I out of my term time officially? If yes, then yes, you can work full time, Nidhi. I hope that helps.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's great. And just in terms of the sole representative visa, I was just wondering as well. I know there's no minimum capital investment, but would there have to be a minimum salary requirement that I would have to meet?
No, national minimum wage, which is eight pound
National
fifty
minimum wage.
pence. Yeah, just to meet the law of the land. So that's the employment law. One cannot be paid less than national minimum wage in the UK. So that's
Mm-hmm.
the starting point. But at the same time, the you have to justify, if you have to apply for sole representative, you need to justify as to how you would survive yourself without recourse to public funds. So there has to be a justifiable salary enough that the sole rep can sustain themselves and their family without recourse to public funds, Nidhi. So yeah, you need
Okay.
you need to talk about that and find out what is that, you know salary which company can afford paying you, plus the salary which you can then afford and living here yourself.
Okay. Yeah. And also in terms of the application. So if I wanted to not come on the sole representative visa, but the branch itself wanted to obtain a sponsorship status to hire me, and it
Yes.
was being run by someone else, but they wanted to hire me, then You know, how much would it cost to get that done, and is there a minimum salary that I would have to be paid if that was the case as well?
Good
And
question.
would I be on a tier 2 visa?
Yes, yes, good question. So, so let's say your company overseas was to open up a branch office here and get a sponsor license. So first thing first, they need to justify it's a genuine business, having a genuine presence in the UK, having a genuine vacancy in the UK to sponsor yourself. Now,
Hmm.
as we speak, we are in August 2020, Nidhi. There
Hmm.
is still a residual labor market test to conduct by the company before they can hire you. Yes, you are under tier 4, right? And if you do not have majority shareholder in the company, if you are not a majority shareholder in the company, or if you have a less than 10% shares in the company, you could be paid the normal salary as per the SOC code. Now, SOC code is a technical term. It stands for the um, occupation code. I don't know the full form, but we call it SOC code. But we need to go and check on the Home Office website what is the prescribed salary for specific job title. For an example, and this is just a hypothetical scenario, if you are being sponsored as, let's say, business development manager, then you need specific salary. Let me just, yeah, so the SOC code is 3545, and because you are a student and you are switching from student to tier 2 in the UK, if you were to do that, then you could be
Hmm.
paid a new entrant salary. So there are two sort of salary slab, which is new entrant and experienced worker. So because you are switching from tier 4 to tier 2, you could be paid new entrant salary, and that is £26,500 per year. That's the minimum salary requirement for, and again, in hypothetical scenario, business development manager. That's the minimum salary requirement. The company
Okay.
has to, first thing first, establish themselves, is to be a genuine business, genuine vacancy there. Because you are switching from tier 4 to tier 2, if you are to switch from tier 4 to tier 2, company doesn't need to run resident labor market test, because tier 4 graduates who have completed the course in the UK are exempt from resident labor market test. But having said that, because of the way tier 2 sponsor licensing works, it cannot work as a route to facilitate your visa need. It has to be a genuine a need of company hiring you.
Yeah.
Still, there is
Hmm.
there is an element of responsibility or obligation on the company to prove that they are not ignoring the settled workforce here in the UK.
Hmm.
And the responsibility, the onus on the company in your case goes higher, in my opinion, because
Hmm.
it's your family business, and home office may want to scrutinize whether it's a genuine company, genuine vacancy, or else is the company trying to facilitate your leave to remain. So this is a challenge. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying we cannot make this work. It is possible. We need to take much more detailed instruction from your company, and then try and figure it out. And then we have to put extra efforts, and to justify the genuine vacancy, genuine business, so that you
Hmm.
could be sponsored under tier 2. But to answer your question, yes, it's very much possible and doable. We need to explore the options more in detail at later date, in a separate call. Going back to the question on cost, I would assume it would be a small company to start with. Small companies, any company which has a less than 10 million turnover, less than 50 employees. So it could be mostly considered as a small company. So the home office fees is £536. So that's the home
Hmm.
office fees. If you are asking about our fees, we charge about £5,000 plus VAT to get the license. That's our fees, and the
Hmm.
home office fees is £536. Now, if you say, what do we do in that fees? So first thing first, in your case, we need to deal with the complication of the relationship, right? So it's your family company, might have been owned by, I don't know who owns that family company in there, probably your parents there. And if the top management is a close relative, we need to disclose that to the home office. We have obligation to disclose that there is a close family member is being sponsored, to
Hmm.
avoid any allegation of conflict of interest. And then we also provide you detailed document checklist, We provide you a compliance system, right? So when you get a sponsor license in the company, for any company, the company has to have a very strong compliance system in place. So home office expects you to have that in place. So what we do is we have a ready-made templates which we have prepared based on last 10 years experience, which has been tried and tested over and over. We'll provide that to you. We'll also provide you a training as to how to run that system. So, and we also prepare you for the mock home office interview, because home office might have a few questions to ask the authorizing officer in the UK. What is the company about? What is the company doing? What is the genuineness of the business, and what is the genuineness of the vacancy? So we will also go through that home office interview with your authorizing officer. What I want to add here is, if the overseas company is opening up a branch in the UK, Nidhi, because you are not settled as of now, you are tier 4 student, you are not a settled person. Company has to have one settled person in the UK. They have to recruit one person, or they have to appoint them as an office holder in the UK. So when we say office holder, it's a director or secretary of the company. They at least one person who is having a senior position within the business. They have to take the position of authorizing officer. What is authorizing officer, Nidhi? Is someone who is responsible to manage the compliance of the sponsorship management system. So we need that person in the UK. So if the company is opening branch office, they need to first recruit someone who is settled, either as an employee or as an office holder. And then we can progress with sponsor license application. And then after, if we get the sponsor license, then we can go on to get you on tier 2 from tier 4. It's about 3 to 4 months of process. And when is your visa expiring, Nidhi? When is your visa expiring, Nidhi? I just missed that.
It'll be March 2021.
Yeah, so if we are to start now, this is right time to start. March 2021 is the right time. Yes, we can work on this together. Did I answer your question, Nidhi? I gave a lot of information. I will also give you a copy of this recording so you can go over again if you have to. It will be very helpful for you as well. Yeah, definitely.
There was one other thing. So as a sole representative, do you think it would be better to go for the sole representative as opposed to the hiring via tier 4 to tier 2 after obtaining the license, or is the sole representative visa better in this situation?
Good question, and I don't have the clear-cut answer on top of my head as of now. You just need to understand what it takes to get tier 2. First thing first is genuine setup of the business. We need a authorizing officer who is settled in the business. So it takes a little bit more in terms of setting up branch office, which is not as a sole representative, but in order to get sponsor license. So yeah, there is a bit more investment. You need more people to get on board with that process, but it's point-based system. So once you get it, it's easier to get it. Where in sole rep visa, Home Office has recently introduced a genuineness test, and I do not want you to be scared of that. But what it is, it's more of a very subjective test for the Home Office to believe whether it's a genuine sole representative option or not. I mean, it was always there, but now they have put it in immigration rules very loud and clear. So you need to work on that subjectivity of genuineness a little bit more to get sole representative visa. In both the routes, you get the settlement in 5 years. So in 5 years time in sole rep, you get settlement, which is permanent residency. In tier 2, you get the settlement in 5 years. Now, in tier 2 route, you should be paid minimum 26,000. In last year, you should be paid like 38,000 pounds, something minimum salary. So there is a cost implication as well in tier 2 route. Where in sole rep option, there is no minimum salary requirement. So you need to consider that as well. I mean, in a way where in tier 2, you cannot work with any other employer apart from the employer you being sponsored, and same with sole rep visa, you cannot work for anybody else, but to expand the business, you've been appointed as a sole rep. You can bring your family, your spouse under children under 18 with you as a dependent in both the routes, so that's quite similar. Do I see any other difference? I can't see any other difference. I think so that might help you a little bit to think over as to which option you want to progress with.
Okay, and for the route where we obtain the sponsorship for the branch that's in the UK, would we have to have the branch established for a certain number of years before you can get a sponsorship license, or can you just have, set up the company and then get the license
Very good question.
application going?
Very good question. Thank you. So my opinion is doesn't need to run for certain years before you apply for sponsor license. As I said, it has to be a genuine business. So in our experience, we managed to get sponsor license for a company which were established just last month. And with 0 employees, and we managed to get them a sponsor
Mm-hmm.
license by explaining to home office as to why they need sponsor license. It's more about explaining to the
Mm-hmm.
home office and convince, look, there is a genuine need of having a sponsor license for this business. As long as you can demonstrate that with relevant explanation and corroborating evidence if necessary, then company should get sponsor license. So to answer your question, no, there is no specific requirement of its trading for minimum years or having minimum turnover or having minimum employees.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Also, this is a very separate question, but I was looking into your law firm and I saw that there were some paralegal jobs that were available, and I was just wondering if there are applications that I could put in for a job at your firm.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can probably email me the link. Probably we need to look into it. But as of now, we are not looking for paralegal for sure. But if there is a page, might be outdated, but or probably it's a rolling recruitment process. I'm not aware of that, but I'll go
Hmm.
back and check if you can send me the link of that. But yeah, that's we're not hiring paralegal as of now. But if you are interested, feel free to drop your CV, Nidhi, and we'll keep that on record with your permission, if you don't mind. And if there is an
Yeah.
opportunity, we'll get in touch with you.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you so much for the help
Pleasure, Nidhi.
and all of this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice speaking with you. I hope
Thank
I
you.
answered your question, and I'll send
Yes,
you the
you
copy
did.
of this recording.
Great. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Have a lovely
Bye
day.
bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye bye. So I invite you to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification button so that you do not miss any updates from our channel. Furthermore, I also invite you to like this video and also share with any family friends who could be benefited, and drop a comment if you have any further question, query, and we'll be happy to help. Thank you.